Page 17, Constellation. Constellation is sort of like a nocturne where it's just dreamy and gentle and you could fall asleep to one of these. However, this one seems to have a lot of dissonance. It's more like a 20th century type constellation, but it's based on a really old melody, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. So let's take a look at this. We've got some interesting things going on, and it doesn't really fall under the fingers real well. We have to make some awkward hand movements. That's just the way it happens sometimes. I look it over, I see it's 4 lines long. The clef signs at the beginning are both treble clef. I look through and I say, really, is that the way it's always going to be? And it looks like pretty much it's treble clef for the bottom staff all the way through. So both hands, except for the last measure, I should say, because they do stick in a bass clef there at the end. So the last measure, the left hand is bass clef. This usually throws me, because I'm so used to reading bass clef for the left hand, and then suddenly I'm reading treble, and I forget I'm reading treble, and I start playing bass, and we work it out. 1 flat in the key signature, so it's either in the key of F major or D minor. If I look at the end, those are Fs. I'm guessing I'm probably in F major. Do the scales for both though. The F major scale and the D minor scale, 1 octave up and down, just like I explain in the scale videos. Be sure and do the trill exercise and the accents, everything I explained there. And 4/4 time signature. However, the time signature, if you look through it, changes. So that's going to be interesting. Right hand first, let's see what we get here. We're starting here with 4 and 5. Remember the B flat, it's in the key signature. And we have half notes here, so you're going to hold the half note down here together. And then the next one is here, and now hold the half note down, and then here, thumb comes down. So the holding that holds half notes down. Again. At the end is here, and then here, next line. It's kind of awkward. I don't like the fingering. There's other possible fingerings. We'll just go with this. Sometimes you fix a fingering, it solves one problem, but it just creates others. Now on the 3/4, when you're changing time signatures in a piece like this, there's usually always something which is common between them, something that connects them together. In this case, it's going to be the quarter note beat. The quarter note beat is going to remain the same. The only difference is we're not counting to 4, we're just counting to 3 in that last measure of the first line. So the last 2 measures of the first line, you would go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then you're back to 4/4. Here. That's all it is. It throws the natural accents off. I'll talk about those a little later. Right now, just keep it a steady quarter note beat here. So the last measure of the first line, and I do a 2/5 for the next line because I'm here, and then I come up. And then going on for the second measure, since I'm in this position, I do the first F with 4. I have repeated Fs, and then 1, because I change on the repeated notes. I think that's better. We've had these high notes before. Again, I leave it to you to memorize those. But in the last measure, they want you to use 4th finger again. I just used 4th finger. No, that in my opinion is poor fingering. If you don't have to, don't do it, and we don't have to here. So in the last 2 measures of the second line here, you have 2 B flats. Do a 3, 4. Change all the repeated notes. Don't do that. Here. Then you can lift up for the 3rd line and come down if you want. Here, because it starts again. And then, now, 3rd line down, last measure. It's B flat. This is hard to do when you're playing these. It's one of the more difficult things to do on piano, is to do it in both hands. I use weight to push the notes down. I'm lowering. You can't really tell it's a small motion, but I'm lowering the weight on each one. And as I raise up, I simply switch the fingers. So the weight's on these fingers. These fingers are ready. I raise the wrist a little bit. I'm exaggerating so you can see it better. And as I lower the wrist, I'm lowering the weight on these other fingers. But the weight is pushing the notes down, not the fingers. I go a little fast because I've been doing it forever, but take it slow and do it in both hands. Just mirror them. When you're ready, and you work on it until you can get them to where you can get them down at the same time. I don't, but maybe you can. This is one of the more difficult things to do, but it comes in handy once you get it. And then the last line, you have one beat rest to come up here. Reach down. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And I suggest for the half notes, because it's up here, I don't want to use little finger again. So I'm going to use 2, 4. And then I can come down. And then a 2, 5. And again, the F is this is the last two measures. The F is a whole note, hold it down. And that E is tied, or E flat is tied. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a one beat rest, and that note is above the third ledger line. Well, the top line of the treble clef is F, one ledger line is A, 2 is a C, 3 is an E, and that's right above it, so it's an F. And again, because there's only 3 ledger lines involved, in my opinion, you should memorize that note. It's an F. So here, and then one beat rest to come up. Here. Left hand, let's see what it's up to. Here we got 3 ledger lines below treble clef. Well, you already know one ledger line's middle C. So 2 would be an A, and 3 would be an F. So we're down here. So we're in this position. Sort of. I don't know what these other fingers are doing because we'll get there later, I guess. I don't know. And then they want you to use second finger again. No, I just used second finger. We had this discussion before. 3 and then 2. Change on the repeated note. Second line, third measure. Now remember, treble clef, you're up here and you have half notes. Hold the half notes down. And then here, if you don't want to be up in here, you gotta use second finger. But that's a little hard because I need here again. And that's hard. So if you can, use the fingering in the book. And then here, sounds terrible, but that's what's written, and the fingering works okay. This 3-1, 4-1, and then 5-2. And that's tied, so you gotta hold that down for 5 counts. And then the next one, again, we gotta use the little finger again, because that's that F again. And hold the F down. If you can't reach that, you gotta use thumb again. But if you can, use second finger. And then the last line, we're up here. They say 4-1. I would suggest 3-1 if you can. So I can go here. I want to connect those 2 notes. I want to connect all that. So I'm going to go 3-1 and then 5-2. And I'm going to hold the F down and use thumb on the C. Just come under. So I got all that. And then we can go on. Here. And then the last measure, you get bass clef. Those are Fs, but it has an 8 underneath, an 8 VA thingy. So you go down an octave. So here. If you have a short keyboard, you don't have the F. You play the lowest Fs you have. So then we attempt to put the hands together. And again, I'm going to hesitate all over. I don't care. I'm here. Now I'm here. These notes, hold the half notes down. And then here. So the left hand's tied there. Hold the left hand down as you come down. Yes, I know that sounds wonderful. Let's just go with it. And lift up. All that together, and then at the end, you're coming up. You got one beat rest to get both hands where they go. You can do it one hand quickly if you want, or together. Good luck with that. I like to do it one hand at a time there at the end, but you got one beat to get them up there. Okay. So I work out the hands, and then I go back through it a few hundred times and slowly work out the hesitations. Once I have all of that, I'll think about the articulation. Here, it's pretty much connected. They have this, in my opinion, connected. When you're lifting up for the C, so you can lift up for the other note too. That gives you your slurs automatically. Otherwise, you're pretty much connecting this. In both hands, the left hand connect that. You can lift up if you want, like a phrase. Okay. So I put in the articulation, and then I add the dynamics. MP at the beginning is mezzo piano, sort of soft, whatever you think that is. Then suddenly we're soft. Now I disagree with that. The dynamic applies to the melody. The melody here is in the left hand. The left hand should be soft, or moderately soft. It's going to stay moderately soft. The right hand needs to be soft. I don't need another dynamic, because if you do that to me, then I'm thinking, oh, now the melody's soft. No, I'm going to keep the melody sort of soft, and this is soft in the background. And then moderately soft here, I don't really need a moderately soft, because again, it applies to the melody. Now the melody's in the right hand, so it's soft. And that soft in the third measure, I don't need that, because I want the melody to be moderately soft. So the other stuff, I'm just going to make soft. And the third line down, you get a crescendo here. Well, this is soft. So I'm just going to make each one of these a little louder. And now, this is moderately loud. So here, I'm only going to go up to about moderately soft. Now, moderately loud. Moderately soft, and the left hand's soft. And come down to soft, the hairpin come down to soft. And now it's the left hand. And now both hands are very soft because there's no melody. Or it's all melody, I'm not sure. I guess it's all melody. Just make it very soft. It's better to get into it and feel these dynamics. Then the speed. Adagio is slow, which means I've been going way too fast. It's slow. If I play the right notes. Real slow. Keep it all the way through. You have a rallentando there at the end, the last line, last three measure. They want you to slow down. Don't slow down a lot, because then it just drags. So the last line, you're up here. And then at the end, and the fermata, in this case, because it's very soft, I hope, don't use the soft pedal. Learn to do this with the hands. Just let it die away. And when it's done, that's it. Now they've added pedal. Okay, we can add pedal if you want. We need a little help in some cases connecting the notes, and the pedal can help us do that. And because it's really slow, it'd be nice to have the overtones, because it's really dry. I mean, there's times you might want that slow and clean, but in this case, it'd be nice to have the overtones. We pedal it like it's shown. Most of it's overlapping pedal. So the hands go down first and then the pedal. And when I change the pedal, it's right after I play the notes. However, if you look between the second and third measure, that's not overlapped. That's lifting up. That's because of the phrase. We want to hear the little silence. So I lift the pedal up with the left hand, or with both hands in this case. So we get just a speck of silence. So at the beginning, you're here. And here. Lift up. See, there's just a speck of silence there. Same thing in the second line, into the first measure, I lift up, so there's just a little bit of silence. Again, lift up. So forth, and that's the way it's pedaled through. That's fine. Now, please don't copy me. Get into it and feel the music. Remember, it's a dreamy feel. Just fall asleep to it. Let's play it together very slowly and check the notes and the rhythm. Well, it's slow anyway. I'm not going to do any louds and softs. I can't slow down at the end. The last note at the end, that dotted half note, I'm going to hold that 6 counts instead of 3, because when I play with a metronome, I just double the value for a fermata. I'll give us 4 counts. 1, 2, ready, go. Rest. Three, 4, rest. 3, 4, hold. 2, 3, off.